hoping that you succeed as well.
Peace to the tribe. Welcome, welcome. It's the initiates of the flame. I'm here with my big dog, big bro, Hood Mystic. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Let you guys know what he got going on. But here, you see the setup. You see what we got going. So Hood, what's the word, man?
Man, just chilling, man. Need everybody to get to whiterabbitpsych.com. Get in for that 25% off deal. It's gonna last into Tuesday. Um, yeah, join my rewards when you spend $200. Get a $50 off coupon. Everybody need to save money in these economic times. What else going on? Yeah, ColumbianExchange.com. Save 15%. No promo code needed. You know you need those herbs. Visit the Substack. Got articles, top of articles on top of articles. Tap in, tap in, tap in. And of course, join the Discord. Join the Discord. Join the Discord is where it all goes down at.
Of course, yeah. Join the Discord, especially if you want to jump into Lunar Conversations. That is what we got going tonight. And also, just for you guys to understand, the Discord is for all of us to connect, talk about spiritual things, network, astrology, book meets, webinars, all types of things. So join in, like get in with us, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of things that we are trying to help with each other for this Discord. So think about that, tap in. But what we're going into, right, is the moon phases, but not just the moon phases itself, just the moon period. The Lunar Conversations was built in the Discord for us to really understand the moon within ourselves and also understand the moon period through its astronomical features and its astrological features. So we just want to, make that a space through the Discord, have everybody in their rap, especially the feminine, have the masculine in there. So what's your thoughts on the moon hood and how it relates to us? You know what I'm saying? What's the most important thing that we should take away from before we just get into this information?
Well, the moon rules your sleep cycle, your circadian rhythm, your pineal gland, your melatonin, melanin. So everything that has to do with your emotional body, your energy and motion has to do with the moon. The moon is connected to water. Water's connected to your emotions. The moon controls the tides. So a lot of times it's things that you need to do, but the reality, especially with black people, when they don't feel like doing it, they just don't do it. And so you'll see a bunch of people struggle in their life just because they don't feel like it, because they don't want to, because they're tired, because whatever feeling or emotion is the predecessor to what they actually do. So understanding the moon and its phases, understanding the moon in your chart is a necessity, really. Most people don't really do the science on their moon sign, the house, the people are going to talk about their sun sign all day and identify with their sun sign, but that's not even how you feel. You got to deal with your feelings at all times, and that's what really people need to really get they wrap their mind around.
Yeah, and that's a really good point because when we think about it, we put so much thought into the sun, but we really don't think about how the moon is really like that shadow aspects of us and the things that we're not really aware of or what we're not paying attention to. So imagine the things that we like give sight to that we not really noticing. It really kind of really changes our life in a way because the things that we are not aware of, as soon as we're aware of it, it like the information puts us in a different type of like mindset, consciousness, movement. So being aware of the lunar itself gives you a different aspect of yourself. Because like you said, it's how you experience and think and act through in the day. And then your moon is different how you experience acting the night. And I feel like when we think about nighttime, we don't really tell people what we do when we get at home from work. We just be like, yeah, I just, I'm back here, but what was you doing at night? Like, what do you, like, what's this other side of you do? We just see you at work. Do you go to the
Right,
club at
because
night? Like, what?
you're dealing with a person's motivations, and the confusing part with your sun sign is I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, right? And then, or you like, I express myself like this, I'm this type of person. But if you're not motivated to even self realize, self actualize, you won't do it because what you feel like doing you're gonna do it. And it's so powerful, especially when you start to deal with people and relate to people. It's like, yeah, we can talk all day what we gonna do, but if you don't feel like doing it, you're just not gonna do it. And to get behind
True.
that, study your moon sign and is it heavily aspected? What phase is your moon sign in? All of these things can be investigated to really figure out your archetype. Study archetypes, you really want to know your moon sign. That's your true archetype. In Vedic astrology, they deal with the sun sign. I mean, they deal with the moon sign before they deal with the moon sign. They deal with the moon sign before they deal with the sun sign, as they prioritize the moon sign because they know that how you feel is way more important than how you express yourself. You can express anything, but how you feel, you can't really lie about that.
No, you can't, because truly how you feel really affects a lot of the things that you really do, or the past things that, like, most of our memories, most of the things that we don't even like to do is because how we felt about it. Like, especially that's like certain foods as a kid that you didn't want to eat, you probably don't eat now because, oh, that made me throw up. And you just judging off that one experience that you had with that thing.
Yeah, that's one of the most irky and irritating things when people say, "Oh, I don't eat this or I don't eat that," and it's like, so you're not going to try it? You're not even going to like experience it differently. It's like that's really the corniest shit in the world. And it's like, why don't you like it? Oh, I never liked it my day in my life. And then it's the craziest part. People say, "Oh, I never even tried it. I just know I'm not going to like it." It's like, come on, man. That's really in a nutshell how powerful the moon is.
That is true, because you can also meet somebody, and based on how they make you feel, you probably be doing the thing that you don't like to do with your friends. With this one person, is like, man, it's just when we do it, it's different.
Right. You ever been with somebody that don't smoke, but you like them, and they don't smoke,
Right.
but you just find yourself spending the whole day with them, not smoking, because how you felt when you was alone, like I need to smoke. When you happy, you don't even need to smoke,
Hmm.
right? It is the motivation and your emotions is like one of the things that if you sat and really got behind, did some shadow work behind it, you would really be directed in a way outside of even what you're emoting to yourself.
Right. Right. Now, one thing that a lot of people, and most people notice, but I feel like, since we give so much importance to the sun, they don't realize how the sun really gives the moon light. I feel like people just think the moon shines on its own. People just forget how the moon really works. It's just something they just see every day but have no relation to. How you think we can like really build a day-to-day practice with the moon? Like, should it be something we do every Monday? Because ancient mythos and ancient societies made the moon day for certain reasons. But how
Let's
you think
not
we should
let's not deprioritize the moon, right? Because
Mhm.
when you look at the word month, it's just a moon, like a moon cycle. A month is 30 days, right? But a
Mhm.
moon cycle is 28, 29, 29 and a half days. That could not relate to the sun because ancients observed the sun, let's say in Virgo, it lasted 52 days, didn't last 30. But a month or a moon cycle lasts every 28 days, right? So when we
Mhm.
are studying the calendar, we're studying the moon. Right? We
Damn.
timing is reference to the moon. So like you just can't sleep on its importance. And when you talk about the sun reflecting off the moon is like the way that that whole thing works out, it creates the conditions for life. Without the moon, we don't have the conditions for human life. So it's like everything is an experiment that when you add these elements into a particular uh incubator called Earth, it creates this wonderful thing called humanity. And then the humanity reflects into the humans because women have a cycle that is 28 to 30 days long, which is the prerequisite for life.
Wow. Yeah, when you put it in that perspective, it's something that is venerated so bad that you can't overlook.
Yeah, you can't overlook it, but then the thing is, many human beings, the name of the game is to overlook uh what we call the moon or lunar lunar observations. But the irony of that is when you are not in tune with this, they call you crazy or you suffering from lunacy, is when you are
Yeah, I was gonna say
disconnected
lunatic.
from your you're a lunatic. You're disconnected from your emotional body. You're apathetic. You don't feel correctly. Like you yelling at your kids. You don't feel good about yourself. You are absent of this reality. And for the human, it is what we call crazy or a lunatic. Affected with
Was I
periodic
said affected
insanity
with period
dependent on the
insanity.
changes of the moon. See, and we can't make this stuff up. At a certain point, person, like the definition of a lunatic is insane. So what essentially is insanity is not understanding your moon sign. And that even sounds insane as me saying it, but that's the reality. That's why we need to study our astrological charts. Like we need to get a full understanding of it. So join the Discord, and join Lunar Conversations and start bringing up, start looking at your chart and start coming into grips of my moon sign is how I feel. Because I'm a moon in Gemini, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fucking crazy. I'm crazy already. I got multiple personalities. That comes in handy,
what
depending on I'm either an
I'm trying to
angel
think
or
of that Kanye West and Melly song. I got mixed personalities.
yeah, that's my shit right there. That's my shit right there. That's me in a nutshell. I ain't the same person at all times. But see me having a son in Leo trying to present myself a certain type of way, right? And the reality is I let people know off the gate. I know I do content.
Mm.
I know I'm on Instagram and YouTube, but I'm batshit crazy. I ain't like these other motherfuckers on the internet acting like they perfect. I haven't got there yet, But that's just the reality of my chart. But once again, it assists me because now I know how to understand myself, understand my emotions, right? Nobody can take advantage of you when you are in tune with your emotions. You're not crazy when you understand yourself.
And that makes me think about because when we always talk about the moon, we always talk about how we receive. But when you think about the way your inner world is and how you see things when you talking to another away, or when people are spewing things at you, or when you're reading certain information, how your inner world is how you're going to receive it.
Hmm.
Am I like correct or wrong on that? Because I
Oh
feel like
yeah, that's 100%.
we skip that part when we say that, and people when they receive things, they just I don't still get what they mean how I receive.
Yeah, once you have a mind to want to learn, right? When you want to learn, you can open up so many different portals. It's like homeschooling my kids. There's a certain point where they want to learn and they hungry for knowledge, and it's easy to teach. When they don't want to learn, I'm thinking about different torture techniques. Like I'm looking up medieval torture techniques to like get them to, but and nothing that I can do. And when you press the button, they go deeper into I don't want to do it because they know that's what's like riling me up at a particular point. So it's like just getting into the science of understanding your emotions so deeply that you become who you want. Like it, I just break it down like this. Once I put in my mind that I was going to learn regardless and I was going to take it step by step, I gained knowledge and I learned. And I was the type of person I just sucked at remembering stuff. And what did Mercury mean again? Damn, what did Mars? What the first house stand for?
Man,
And then I had to just say, fuck it. I gotta figure this shit out. I gotta test myself. I gotta, study this shit until I get it, because I didn't naturally get it. So when I talk about astrology, I'm coming from a perspective of what the fuck is these lines and symbols mean? I don't know what the fuck is going on in this chart. And then once you get it piece by piece, put the pieces together, it makes sense. That's all I speak from with astrology. But I had to want to. It may be a good 5 years. I'm just mumbo jumboing niggas to death because I'm afraid to even open my mind up to learn.
yeah, when you think about it too, because we was really diving deep into this, astrology really helps you see things with the spiritual lens. It really helps you go beyond yourself, because when we're really in this mundane or in this matrix, we tend to forget what really keeps us animated. Sometimes we just get into just going to work, or doing the most, or just eating good, where we really forget about the other side of us that's really bringing us to life. And the sun just makes us think about that conscious aspect that we're here to just show up and work. But the moon really makes us think about that spiritual aspect about us that we never tend to think about. Like really, like most of the time when you in the night, you doing something spiritual, or you doing something that's catering to your inner self, but it's not really reflected upon for everyone to be known. It's just another thing as like catering to yourself, or being something where you just something that you do on a regular, but it's really something deep and intellectual.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like with the moon, like, because the reason why I'm bringing that up, because with the moon phases, I feel like that all goes in accordingly, because I feel like when we learn how to work with the moon step by step, right? Because the learning process can be through all these cycles. Like you might not know anything about your moon sign, but you can learn just every day being consistent with just new information, just writing down, taking the time, right? So like if you know it's a new moon in your right, it's a new moon, right? And then you looking in your astrology and you like a Virgo moon, you're gonna just take notes on how you feel right now and what's your thoughts about the new moon. And then you can just literally go in a simple format of learn about the new moon. And that's it. Like I feel like sometimes we just make things complicated and make it too hard. And then like when we do the small things by ourselves and come back in the group setting, for that's what the Discord is made for, it makes all of us find the information easier, because we all, it's like, what they say, two heads is better than one. we all coming together to bring information for each other instead of being a place of like being by ourselves, making it hard, then we don't come back, and then we see someone else doing it, then we want to go back, but then we have all this frustration with our feelings towards it that we don't want to do it no more. Like what made it easier for you to show up for a hood? Because I feel like, or this process is too much for somebody that's trying to get started.
Well, it was never really easy. Like but
Mm-hmm.
it was internal. I just think sometimes did this podcast years and years ago on can't even remember the podcast. I was talking to this lady and she was like she had stopped and she was like, you really need to thank your ancestors. And when she said that, it really just like sent me into like a That's So Raven moment where I was like,
Mm.
yeah, like because I wouldn't have been nowhere without my ancestors. Actually working with my ancestors in a real way because I dealt with death a lot in my life, and that spawned my spiritual journey. But in reference to death and my spiritual journey, I always had people more or less walking with me and talking with me and dealing with me because I just kept I didn't believe it. And then like when I had experience of people that transition, I felt the experience. Like
Mm.
when somebody had transition, I felt they life force energy travel inside of me before I knew that they was transition. So I feel the zap of energy. And then I get the phone call moments later. And it happened twice. So I essentially know when somebody that's connected to my energetic body transitions, and it's like a feeling. So I say all of that to say it led me to astrology when I did not know or give a fuck about astrology. I'm a nigga from Ohio. I like to smoke black and milds and go to a nice bar where they got chicken wings and a good Long Island iced tea. I'm a down grown, like I'm a just a nigga, man. But
Mm.
um the spiritual side of my life, my ancestors, they was just kind of always keying me in to like it's more to life than fucking hoes for $40. Right? It's more to life than, just being an ain't shit nigga. So the difficult part for me was going beyond my sun sign and going into my moon sign, which led me into my Neptune sign. And once I figured out, and I'm just looking at my chart right now, just to
Mm.
make sure, I got Neptune conjunct Jupiter in my third house in Sidereal Sagittarius. And once I did the knowledge on that shit, like you are a psychic, you need to
Mm-hmm.
speak and do all of this type of shit, that triggered something deep within me that it wasn't a lie. It was definitely a truth in reference to how I was going live out my future as far as my career, right? But
Mm.
studying my chart and applying that shit to me, it took me from being just a regular nigga to, understanding that I'm a bodhisattva, ascended master, and I'm meant to do greater things than, freak black and mouths and see which hoes in sight.
Freaking Bracken Miles is crazy, man.
Man, if it wasn't for my ancestors, I probably still would be.
Wow, man. Yeah, and with the ancestral work, I feel like that's something that's really overlooked when it comes to just spiritual work or just getting it done, leaving the church alone. You just come into this space and you kind of just like, well, I know there's something bigger than source. Then now what? And I feel like that's the time when you really learn your ancestry, learn who you are on a deep level, and just build an altar to your family. And I feel like working with that, and you'll get the guidance and dreams. I remember when my great grandmother passed, and my aunt, that was that was her grandma. You know what I'm saying? Like that, she was so close to her, and all she been talking about is like I just been getting dreams of her for some reason. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, some people are not in tune to know what that is, but it's like being in tune with that and really connecting with that is something really deep. Somebody trying to really connect with you and speak to you. I feel like that is something, the most beautiful thing in the world to really experience. Someone that's like passed on, and then they're constantly coming to you in your dreams. You know what I'm saying? She was talking about how she was feeling so great during that week. You know what I'm saying? Because she saw her grandma. How would you uh like how would you guide people to really like connect with their ancestors, fam? Like I feel
I
like that's
mean, you
something.
gotta not be so fucking dense, right? You can't be a
Mm-hmm,
dense person if you don't believe. If you believe that people in your life is actually dead, I would consider
mm-hmm,
you a dense person. What do I
mm-hmm.
mean by that? Do you remember when you was 2 years old?
No, not
No,
for
you
real.
don't remember. So essentially, you were dead. Fair to say? You have no consciousness. You can't even remember what happened. But you assume that you are living, meaning that there were people in your life that took care of you, changed your diapers, made sure that you ate, and you wasn't even conscious. See, that is how life is supposed to go. When we develop an ego at 4 years old, we're essentially exiting out of the cosmological truth that exists on a path, a natural process. Thus, our sun sign gets activated around 4, right? And
Mm-hmm,
when we don't deal with our moon, we're not dealing with the gateway to all other cosmological truths. So naturally, like to study your chart, to study astrology, to really grasp spirituality, you're essentially putting your life on autopilot. You're bringing your expression or ego behind source and thus living a perfect life. The reality of it is that most people never do this. And so it's like we have an opportunity to like find inner peace, to find joy through working with your ancestors and understanding that the people that have died in your life, they have ancient knowledge that you can access if you just connect to them, if you just feed them. Do a lot of times when I get close to people, their ancestors come to me starving, dirty, broken, the same way you as a baby would come to me hungry, starving, broken. It's like, what's wrong, little baby? My mom not feeding me. My grandmama not feeding me. Okay, here you go. So I serve a lot of people on my altar. It's all a mentality too, right? But I also connect to my brother who transitioned in 1978, who told me, you're gonna have 4 kids and they gonna all equal up to me. You and your 4 kids is gonna be me, right? But it's like so many things that's happening spiritually in reference to your family and your bloodline. And this so fucking sad is that people don't want to pick up the mythology. They don't want to pick up the story because of the sun sign. It's all about me. It's all about not even about how I feel, because it's like a barrier how you feel, and then your subconscious mind and your true emotions, right? Like I feel bad because I ain't washed my ass or whatever, but it's like your true emotions connected to source and knowledge is pure joy. That's the only true emotion for real, for real. But it's this false emotion that's connected to the ego that is like, why am I so alone? I hate it here. I hate Earth. And think about how many spiritual people just hate Earth, hate life because they don't want to understand their moon sign. In
mm-hmm,
a real
mm-hmm.
way. That's why people need to join the Discord, join the Discord, join the Discord, get into Lunar Conversations so they can connect to their ancestors, because the reality of it is that you need to understand this aspect in reference to your chart in a major way. And it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to connect to your ancestors overnight. It takes time, it takes the development, and it takes a deep, deep desire to want to understand something that you may not know right off bat. It's not an easy microwavable thing.
It is really not too, because when you also like think about the facts of working with herbs with the moon to make it the process easier on your consciousness, or even your subconscious, then you can get in a habit of ritual with that.
Mhm. Yeah, altar work, ritual work is all hand in hand. When do you do altar work? When do you do ritual work? When the moon is up during the nighttime, 3 o'clock at night, when there's nobody driving around. You got to look at life to be like, motherfuckers is controlled by the moon, right? Because go outside
Mhm.
at 3 o'clock a.m. versus 3 o'clock p.m. It's a completely different vibration, a completely different reality. And people still need money. People still need to work, but they can't even help it. They just go to sleep because they can't even. You ever wanted to watch a movie and 10 minutes in, your ass snoring because melatonin is such a powerful force that when the moon activates your pineal gland and it starts to secrete melatonin, you don't have a choice. You are shut down. That is why when you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's time to do altar work. It's time to do ritual work so you can change your life. A movie that you want to watch that shows how this process works is a Dark City.
Mm, I'll take that to note. Dark City. And plus also tap into the white rabbit, especially for those 3 o'clock nights, or you plan to do that special time, because there's been times where I elevated my practices with microdosing.
Yeah, that's it, especially like I've been wanting to say this to motherfuckers, but it just I don't want to sound cheap when I say it because it's real shit, because it's shit that I be going through. But if you find yourself hitting a wall mentally, emotionally, you might want to like take 3 or 4 capsules, a piece of a candy bar, or however you ingest psychedelics, whatever you do before you go to sleep, and start working through your barriers. First things first, though, you got to know you got barriers that you can actually work through the modality of connecting to your ancestors, your guides. Deities will come to you in the form of insects. Like you were saying earlier, the animal totem. Start researching the animal. If you see an animal more than one time, 2 times, it all connects. We was on a fucking a 4 day just observation to come to, oh, this goddess is trying to connect with us in reference
Mm.
to, then that directs your altar work, your ritual work. But once again, it's the dream world. Oh man, it's like, think about how much shit you can do in the daytime. Imagine, would you say you can do a lot of shit in the daytime, or only a few things in the daytime?
Really on a few things.
In the daytime, during the
Really,
day, you feel like you can only do a few things.
I,
Like, just
well,
think
what
about
what
the selection of things that are open during the day versus at 3 o'clock at night.
Okay, fair. Okay, fair. Yeah. Well, you a lot of things, especially if you start at like 8, really when the sun like 6. Yeah. So if you really trying to start in the beginning of your day, you plan
Now,
to get
in reference to the astral realm, it's times 10 of things that you could possibly do at night. But many people haven't opened that door via the moon. See, the moon is what they call a satellite. You ever heard that before?
Of course, yes.
Right. What does a satellite do? What
It
is it?
meets
Let's
feed.
Google what a
Yeah,
satellite does, because I went to public school. They didn't teach us too much about things like that.
I'm going to it now.
The purpose of a satellite. So, satellites have a variety of uses, including communication relay. That's really what I want to parlay into. Because when you study sidereal astrology, you really don't understand your Mars, your Venus, your Jupiter, your Saturn, your Neptune, your Pluto, your Uranus, because Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus are understood through the communication relay via the moon, right? The moon is our satellite to other extraterrestrial technology, meaning that if you don't understand that you are connected to the cosmos, why the fuck would you connect to the cosmos? Wouldn't you just be sad that Raymond didn't like your picture that you just posted, 20 minutes ago? He seen your text message. It's on red. He left you on red. Some goofy shit like that, right? As opposed to let me talk to Neptune tonight. Neptune is a big black lady. She wear a lab coat, just in case you wanted to know. She's pitch black, smartest black woman you ever seen in your life. She defined. She is a black woman. She is pitch black. She wear a white lab coat, and she will teach you some shit, right? If you want to go into a Neptune class at night, you can get there. See, if I told you where a location was at the store, a store, a mall or something, and gave you the GPS coordinates, you could go there. But if I say you can
Right.
go to Neptune, it's like this nigga on some bullshit. And that's just the correlation I'm trying to make. We can go to places in our dreams, in our astral reality, the same way we can go to places in our physical reality.
That was funny. We can go to Neptune. This nigga on
This
bullshit.
nigga, this nigga tripping, right? Soon as
No,
I
no,
said.
for real.
But if I
And
told you Boosie having a concert, you'd be like, "Where at?" Like at you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm about to pull up. Like,
nah, for real though. And it's like, and my thing is, was like when I really got into astrology, like studying so hard, because I felt like I was always missing something, and I felt like the thing I was looking over is like the dream work, the meditation work. Like I just felt like man, like I'm getting to all the information, but like like that going to the Neptune part, like I didn't never know how to do it. I was like, man, I don't know how to go into Neptune, but I'm gonna just keep studying Neptune until like I really start doing the dreams. But like I feel like what really helped me there was doing the herbs. Like I'll make sure I go to sleep, what I'm saying, on a light little belly or empty belly, drinking like 2 or 3 cups of teas mostly the whole day. And I know I have the most awesome dreams. Like for real, like no BS. Like and like I feel like the one thing that really gave me my spunk was like either roses or I can't remember the blue one, Blue Dream or blue I can't remember it, but it's like a blue dream, blue sage. They used to put in like wines as well for like dreams. It's a blue flower. I can't remember that herb. But and then if you don't even got teas, I use incense. I remember I used to burn incense while I go to sleep. That really like gave me that spunk for my dream. Like going to training camps that I always want to go to, like or meeting people in my dream that I want to train with. I created that type of energy for myself. But I feel like that's one thing that's really skipped about astrology, the dream work of it.
it's all dream work if you really think about it. Do you see stars in the daytime?
No, never.
Right. You can only see stars at night. So the premise of astrology and understanding every planetary figure, star constellation, the only way that the ancestors were able to bear witness to the celestial reality was at night. The who is the ruler of night? Who rules, what planetary figure rules the night? What planetary figure can we depend on a nightly basis?
The moon.
Exactly. So when we are talking about entertainment for millions of years, the thing that human beings observed at night It is the stars, and the moon is the, like, get into Vedic astrology when they're talking about Chandra, right? And embodying it as masculine and feminine, sperm and ovaries. And then it connects to the pineal gland, and the pineal gland rules over the ovaries and the testicles. And it's like you making babies at nighttime, and it's like all of the animals making babies at nighttime. And it's just like, yo, the world is pretty much in order, and a lot of times we just have to like balance out our hormonal truth and be on like our, like I said yesterday, our train track.
Yeah, like this is really just pinpointing how strong the moon really plays. And when you even think about it, LeBron, he's like an Aries moon. You know what I'm
lebron and
saying?
tom brady LeBron and Tom Brady, Aries moons. Figure that.
People with a strong moon can easily connect with their higher self through spirituality. Yeah, like I ain't seen some moons where people were had their moon opposed. You know what I'm saying? I seen people moons where like their moon was like not that far. It was really congruent with their sun. So yeah, really depend on your moon position. So finding out what your moon is like aspecting is going to give you a lot on what it's dealing with and what relationship it has between other planets and transitions.
Yeah, for shit show.
And appreciate that stuff for the assist on for the herb. But anything else you want to share, fam? Because I feel like the Lunar Conversations, that's it's gonna be an event that we start doing on Mondays and nights, having a moon day where we really connect, really share information with our moon, talk about how we worked with it, and even making a big thing where we all come up on the screen more. So it's just like I really want to know, like, ones in the chat if y'all really down for that, because that'll be something fire we can do.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be something to, whereas it's a very important conversation. I would, my whole goal with like working on stuff and putting books out is to, I want to have a basis for bringing people together, and have a space where we can understand our charts, understand our emotions, and really make headway. Because a lot of times, man, you may think your life is supposed to go a certain way. By just simply understanding your chart, you put, your success pattern on autopilot, because there is a natural course to life. Just observe animal life and celestial life. It's very natural and organic, and it's not going to lead to anything negative. It's actually going to lead to peace. And I know niggas is tired of being frustrated, sick and tired of being sick and tired. So, these conversations, we're trying to, whether it's shadow work or dealing with the moon or mastermind or whatever we choose to talk about, is for you to do some self reflection and some ascension work in a space where, most people going to shuck and jive and waste your time. Unless you're the perfect person that got it all figured out, um, then you need to work on some shit. So that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing. And I hopefully we can all work on some shit collectively and see and hold each other accountable, and also see the difference within ourselves and other people.
For sure, like that is the real goal. You always see people do great when it's a village, governing each other and working with each other and networking. So let's keep that in mind when we're in a space with each other, man. Like for real. So much love. Really join that Discord. Get your network game up. You might never know who you know can get you locked in with some good ties.
Ashe. Join the
Prior
Discord. Join the Discord. Join the Discord.
And also, please check out flameon.shop. Get your urban nootropics. And please check out White Rabbit. Hit the referral link. Go ahead. Get in. Also, please take advantage of that discount. It lasts till tomorrow. Much love. And
Catch y'all on
anything else?
catch y'all on the flip side, or catch y'all in the Discord. Any additional conversations, any conversations outside of YouTube, you just want to chop it up, you feeling lonely, want to bounce some ideas, want to promote your business, want to stop being a hermit because the sun is moving out of Virgo into Libra, want to build relationships, join the Discord. Join the Discord. Join the motherfucking Discord.
Hoping that you succeed as well.